Mwana wanjye namusonga ndashakunda umwana ati bagufunda kakuya umwana ati bagufunda kakuya shimusonde chitwele ya moleka ukarari oko wayae ukareze mawimba omepe uiba ome nomba wiso Nanuko wine nomba mundu meome Ukajengere no tulumendo Tauma kucha Ukajengere no tulumendo Tauma kucha Tuate mo kusemba ika Tuate mo kupela ike mipusa Amaino na baino kakupela Iwati kupe kanshi kufi Iya kalando kafiwa bukana Ukebukishia vifuwa mulila Nena mashamu ni champa wadia Ejo Wikate mwati kufia nama Wikate mwisha kafu sasa Shiteke wa muli champa tekwesha Ukana shia mafuta ya mpumba Wikate mwati pera nondo Ine na alanda kwena epo mperere Amatoka maya nderi bitutu wafie Ilingini bachi bombe bombe Ilingini bachi na loweka Akaboi bato bamayanda benye Wana katariko asharale toba Ine na alanda kwena epo mperere Uyu mwaume washuki na muntu Usuke wino akabusungai Ila Afrika mkitwe alawefebo Ila Afrika mkitwe alawefebo Akafunea mpene jina Ukufika mkitwe wena mwacha Ala kumbwe na mapalimeba Ushikumumo na msonga samba Arunga makuko chefi Asanga potempo panawuka Ukupunda wanu kilo wa mupafo Abele meshitwente kwa chia kisunga Ichishele ni awe shinamba Ikarapi, tikarapati foti ni musakile Aya mano kumuransha Muli chimbu ya kiakosa Aya mano kupanga na kupanangani wa upokia ya kupalipe katu Sisa sima chochi tafulene Kakupelo mutia kafwe Nipamba ya isalomba kulira musonda Amuyo munwena ipayo munwe Simusonda kakwati ileye mayo Kawangele fyo kuchiroku na fyo mayo Kangu wachite fikunyaka shialo lejuna Ini opu wate manomba ni kukutushako Shala wipa shakwena lejalo Hallelujah Yo watola no kulendo Ukufaya tempo kukucha Tempo amusanga tele Alevule tempo nomba ngupa Nkama Yesu nebo ni momba Tempo napaka no totoro Uya waipa ya mwaume na ine mwaume Ififi na yefya winga nchika na ine Indi ukate mwashi mabekare Pamurandu wabikate nkafwe Nokupa ine kabili na aliupa Iwapa kusarafia mano Imipamba ya isa nomba kulina musonga Amula umunwe na ipa yo mudugo Timusonga kakufati ileye mayo Kawangene fyo kuchiroku na fyo Nangu wachite fimunoka shialo lejuna Inyoku watu manopa ni kukutushako Shala wipa shabino lechalo Waya iwe Jibita wikwena mablanga yako Jile chitana kashikumushika ufishile Jibita wikwena mablanga yako Jile chitana kashikumushika ufishile Kangu wikwa yensofu kanga yefye Jile chitana kashikunota ufishile Kangu wikwa yensofu kanga yefye Jile chitana kashikunota ufishile Fya chitana msonda Aipa ya mulume wakwe Atibapale na tembo Tembo amukana Katitana msonda Aipa ya mulume Atibapale na tembo Tembo amusenuka Walia 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 walia
Hello. Good evening, Chuempala. Elias Monsha here on TV Vakwetu. Today we should not have a very long agenda. I just want us to interrogate a few things to do with the law. Since in the recent week, particularly yesterday, we had several things happen. So I just want us to interrogate some of those things, and then we'll see how much time we are going to have left. But in case you haven't, please share this link with as many people as possible. And TV Vakwetu is on this evening. It's about 21:49 in Chuempala, but here in Calgary, Alberta, this is my lunch hour. And so I thought, why not connect with our friends in order for us to just discuss and set a few things straight. Here is the first thing. Now, I do understand that some of you are going to hold a very different view, but it's okay. That is what makes TV Vakwetu. It's because we always have different perspective, but we do not shy away from letting you know what we think about it. Number one, it's the issue of the lawsuits that the president has been involved in. Now, imagine the gentleman has, throughout all this time that he was in opposition, amassed so many lawsuits. Sometimes he's suing, and at other times he's being sued. Well, there is an article in our constitution that says that once you become president, it puts a stop to either instituting or continuing civil cases, right? So he's out of luck. I understand that he was awarded $2 million in a case in Livingston. So now he won't collect on that until he leaves power, which could be any time between 2006 or 2031. Who knows? Imagine he was going to lose out on 2.2 million in his money. So which means that all the lawsuits he sued now for millions, it's now over. It's been stopped. Imagine. This is very unfair. These are one of the areas where we need to really go into the constitution and change them, because you cannot stop a citizen from having the right to sue in civil case. I think that's too much, right? I would understand where the constitution says that you can't sue the president, but I do not see the relevance of why the constitution should also stop him from suing others. That's way too much. Particularly if it's people that owe you, right? You are a president, you have a company, or you have some obligations that you're supposed to collect on, and it says that you can't. He has also sued the Zambia for illegal detention. Does that mean then that he's also stopped from suing Zambia, from suing the Attorney General? He's seeking damages for illegal detention. Anyway, that might be stopped, but his friends like Mr. Chakawa and several others might continue with that lawsuit. In any case, Constitution 2016 still remains our favorite, but it might need a little bit of touching up here and there. And I hope that we are going to help out with touching it up so that we can remove some of these unfair things, right? Okay, so what are civil cases? Civil cases are if somebody owes you money or stuff like that, all that is civil case, right? But that constitution does not still stop the president from things like family law. It does not exempt the president from family law. For example, he can sue and be sued for child maintenance, child custody, or even divorce in family court. So the civil cases, they are very limited to some of those things in any case. And so that is the thing. So His Excellency the President is out of luck. Too bad. He won't collect on so much money, and by the time that the 10 years is over, you are lucky. Pantu tabaka michitesu. Ero na vena tamwaka bachitesu. So no mbakanshi vya balanza. Sorry. Anyway, that's about it. The next item is on swearing in. I know that some people are making it into a big deal. For me, it's not really a big deal, right? Because of administrative convenience of running the state. it's very unreasonable that you are going to subject the president beginning to assemble his team to govern the country and subject it to the National Assembly. I think that is way too much. I think that is where, again, we need to relook at the Constitution again, because it could cripple the operations of government. I don't think it's fair that in order for him to merge ministries, it must first of all be approved by the National Assembly. You could understand that in a continuous sense, but if he's trying to put a team together, then the Constitution must not stop him, you know. And so what do I take out of that constitutional provision that says that he can merge, create a new ministries subject to approval, by the National Assembly? I think we are going to take it in its literal sense. That is what it means, but it still does not stop the president from creating and swearing in ministers as the National Assembly approves those changes. Okay, that is my opinion. I don't think we can stop the state from having to function. It's just for practical reasons, you know. Just for practical reasons, because so what was he supposed to do? To wait upon Parliament before he begins? Because it's already late. This is 2 weeks. It's already too late, for goodness sake. We had about 90 days where we had no political supervisors of our government, and then another day is just too many days too late. And so it's understandable they even begin functioning as ministers, and then wait for ratification of the National Assembly in the creation of those new ministries. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it violates the Constitution. I know that some are for a different idea, but that's okay, right? That's okay. Anyway, he says he's directed the vice president to expedite this process so that the 3 new ministries that have been created and the few other ministries that have been realigned can be approved, ratified by the National Assembly, which is going to take just a very small procedural vote, and it should be the case. Okay, and so these are one of the things that we need to look at in the coming constitution. I am for checks and balances, quite all right, but not checks and balances of this nature. So this gentleman is supposed to be subjected to the constitutional structure that Edgar Lungu left, the structure of the executive that Edgar Lungu left, with 30 ministries and useless ministries such as Ministry of Religious Affairs and National Guidance. Why should we do that? Doesn't make sense. Anyway, I think they're going to correct it. How did we get there? Maybe there is a very small team at State House. So from my count right now, there are only 3 people that have been sworn in at State House. This is unacceptable, okay? I don't know what you're going to take it, but State House team, the president's team, 2 weeks into his administration cannot function on 3 officers. That's out. Okay, because the whole reason why he's governing is that he can't govern alone. That office is too big to be governed by one person. You need a team of advisors. So here is the question: where are the advisors? So we do have 2 senior principal private secretaries, Mr. Chipoya and Mr. Chakawa. The principal private secretary, who happens to also be the secretary to cabinet, who is Dr. Simon Miti, and then you have the press aide, so 4. So we are not sure, because Dr. Miti is a holdout from the Lungu administration, and so this team is way too limited. It's too skeleton to provide proper critical advice to our head of state 2 weeks into a new administration. Is it 2 weeks now? Almost over 2 weeks into the new administration. It's very important that the team of advisors be looked into immediately and appointed. That is just simple common sense. It is not very complicated. A team of advisors need to be in place at State House, and the president's team of advisors, not holdouts from the previous administration. And I don't even think that the previous advisors are even reporting for work, right? Political, legal, Now there is project implementation and things like that. And even the chief of staff, for goodness sake, State House must already have had a chief of staff by now, right? Because then the danger with having this skeleton team at State House is that you are overburdening the president, and very soon he will crash, right? Simple common sense. Is likely to crash. Why? Because everything he has to attend to them. And so we are appealing to the president and to all those people who are around him. We don't even know who are those people that are around him apart from the 4 that have been sown in so far. And so should we be appealing to the Lungu holdouts that they should quickly work on a team, you know? Because once you have that team, the good thing is at least you can shed off some responsibilities to people that are known within the system. If President Hakainde Hichilema says that he has a team of advisors, here is a question. Advisors to our president must be formal, and they must be within the government system, and they must be sown. They must have sown their allegiance to our republic and to our president. It cannot be informal advisors from the party. No, okay? Informal advisors from the party, you can talk to them, you can chat with them, but they cannot provide advice critical to our republic. The reason is simple. Our nation requires that those people that are doing so and providing advice to our head of state are sworn officers of our republic, and our republic can hold them liable and responsible for what they are doing. And so we don't know now when they say that a team of advisors collected CVs from all these new ministers or aspiring new ministers. So who did it? Is it the 2? Some of them were just being appointed yesterday. So who did it, right? We need to see that this is corrected, because we mean well for our country, and we know that our head of state means very well, but we need to continue holding our government accountable, and particularly preserving what just happened, right? We don't want to when you are holding the ball, to let the ball go, how do you say it? To lose the ball, something like that. So we want to still hold our revolution. Otherwise, it can be destroyed. And sometimes, even if you have very good intentions, they could still be destroyed. So we need a team at State House, full team. Okay, there is no need why we shouldn't have a full team at State House 2 weeks into this new administration. What do you think? Okay, this is not complicated, right? Because by the time you are campaigning, Nish, at least now your team, even if okay, you can fire them later, but at least by the time you're doing a transition, Nish, the team is already there. They help governing, they help defray some of the mistakes and everything else. That is what we are expecting. That is what we are expecting. Anyway, so a little bit about lawsuits for the president, a little bit about what we are expecting in terms of the team. At State House, we needed it like yesterday, because we don't want any mistakes. We don't want any confusion. No, because this is a different government. This is the new dawn. The government yava kerenka bena Edgar Lungu na banangwe. The government yava na Lungu na banago. You know, government ya kwa tifionse fiare chitika. Anything would go. You know. No proper structure. Now, what am advisors, but if you are tafiaro lelemo, if you are madongo, this is not a madongo government, and so we need to hold the new administration to the fire. And yes, we know that there are so many people that are connected to the UPND, to the party in power, and they can't say some of the things we need to say. Number if we small distance, but carry small, we can easily voice these things so that this revolution is not derailed. Okay, and having a core group of non-advisors, advisors. Our concern is, who are these advisors? We need advisors that are sworn allegiance to the Republic of Zambia. Sonin. That is what we mean. Okay? Not that you're advisors. If you are the advisors, just give them a sole thing, and then let them be registered in the official government payroll that they are working and they are being given appropriate consideration. The other thing is, the danger with relying on informal advisors is that what is their consideration, right? Because our system of work works on consideration. You are serving as president, there is a little consideration that is being given to you, a salary. You know, it's consideration for the services you are rendering. So if you have an informal group of advisors, what is their consideration? If your corruption yamba. It's a corruption tafichitikafia. If you say corruption. No. It has a source. It has a source on all these little things that need just a little patching up, and then it works. Because what is their favor? What is their benefit? What are they getting out of it? Are they just volunteers? No, very savvy volunteer to help vet candidates or anything like that. Anyway. Yagakana. Then there is this idea about the way forward for the ministers. I think we've got a very good group of ministers, excellent team. So it combines youth, it combines old people and youth, which is pretty good. The only disadvantage with this team is no women, very few women. That's not right. Very few women. I don't know what else women need to do in order to break through in this administration. I think, and at a time such as this one, there is no reason why we shouldn't have women. Just like the president did make deliberate effort to look for tribal balancing in the cabinet, we needed a little bit more gender balancing. There is this bigger issue on competence for women. I think women are judged far much too strictly than men. And if we are looking for competent women, we are going to find them. So it's got to be unacceptable. But how many women are there? It's better to in an administration of 24 people. How many are women? Better to number 4. Okay, let's say 35. It's still not acceptable. I'm sorry. If women themselves are not going to say it's unacceptable, in as far as I'm concerned, as TV Bakwe to presenter, that's unacceptable, you know. Because there in effort here, and competence more isanga everywhere so that you balance all the provinces. Na ifakuru pula kuliet ba Mr. Kapala. Chibwe Kapala. Kusheva ushi na nguba kumwenze. Anyway. So Kapala. Kapala bakwi. Bena chishinga na ngubena kavende. Anyway, so just like you found that competence, because Vashtata, they've been destroying this country since 1964. It's now time to change. To be if you would take over, you know. Anyway, but it's a nice team. I think it's going to work very well, and I think it's going to be just fine. The issue is on Cornelius Mwetu. I think he has a press conference tomorrow, and I think he's going to rise above it. One of the things that I do, I think I am not just a noise maker, but I think I'm also a political strategist. And so I've got to say this in a very humble way, you know. When we political strategist, can you or not, you know. So why I think so. Here is the issue. The reason why Southern Province had to have Cornelius Mwetu was for several reasons. I've already explained them, but I'm going to say them again. Because Southern Province is likely to be an issue going forward, right? Now, why should Southern Province be an issue? You don't understand. Now, there are so many. You see, Zambian society has a center, and so the center, I call it, has a tribal center. Okay, the tribal center is Ivoe, Fueva, Chibemba, Nababuchpata. So we are the ones who consider ourselves to be the tribal center. The others are on the peripherals. Now, this is something that we take for granted. So when you are speaking to your fellow members and fellow Chipatans, they take a lot of things for granted. It's almost assumed. So when you tell a Bemba, one Zambia, one nation, it doesn't register. What does one Zambia, one nation mean? It doesn't register, right? Okay, because we think that we are the center. It's like patriarchy, you know, the male domination of society, the male domination of society. It is so ingrained, entrenched in society that it is regarded as normal. It is normal, right? So when you ask to say, why are there so many men in this cabinet? Everybody thinks, why should that even be a question, right? Because it's so normal. We've normalized it. That is what it means when it says patriarchy. When it comes to the Zambian political center, the same has happened. So the reason why Southern Province is likely to be an issue is that they have been consistent in opposition, right? And suffered the most gruesome tribalism under Edgar Lungu. But when leadership changes and you have a Southerner as president, Southern Province is likely, very likely to continue experiencing. Now, what I'm saying is experiencing. I'm not saying in reality, objectively, feeling marginalized, right? And because of that, you need a person who would go there and explain to say that is not what it means and try to defray that explanation. That is why I think Mwetwa has been sent to Southern Province. The second thing is to attend to Southern Province because you can't neglect your stronghold. Edgar Lungu and the Patriotic Front, that's exactly what they did. They were saying that Gubabemba is their stronghold, and yet they neglected, they continued stealing, they continued with nepotism, and so they left their bedroom wide open. I think it appears like there is some seriousness here to try and address the issues in Southern Province, and that's why they needed to send a very strong minister to Southern Province. Very, very good strategy. Excellent strategy. Because if Southern Province begins perceiving that the UPND government would still not be there for them, it will be trouble. It will be political trouble. Okay, so do I foresee some political issues in Southern Province? Yes, I am foreseeing them coming in the next few months, if not immediately. There are already simmering tensions with the UPND administration after this, right? Because there is this expectation that, well, we've suffered through this, we've held this party together, we have been a very consistent region, and then what is happening now? Okay, but if this were the reverse, if this was Michael Sata who takes over power, he would have very freely, without even flinching, appointed an entire Bemba administration, right? And everywhere in all the agencies of the state, and it would not even have been an issue, but it is an issue now. The issue is, why should it be an issue? That is where now you begin thinking outside the center. You begin considering voices from the peripherals. That's very important. That is where now we have all these theories such as feminism, because feminism decenters male domination. So what should happen in Zambia? We need that decentering to say, we need to ask the presumptions under which we have built our society. Why is this a problem? But this is not a problem, and yet these two are completely identical. Why would, for example, an all-male cabinet have no problem, but an all-female cabinet have a problem? Why? That is what it is. That is what it is when you are decentering assumptions and things that people take for granted. And when you begin questioning that, people push back. Some realize to say, you are right. There is something wrong here. If this is one Zambia, one nation, then why is this okay, but this is not okay? All right? So why should then this continue feeling? I'm saying, why should they continue feeling Why should one Zambia, one nation mean that this region must sacrifice for the benefit of this other region? And we say it is one Zambia, one nation. Why? Right? Anyway, that's why you need Cornelius Mwetwa in Southern Province. Okay? I know you guys have other ideas like, oh, why should you talk about this? And look, I observe Zambian politics a lot. Okay. On Sunday, this past Sunday, opposition leader Edgar Lungu spoke to the nation. Opposition leader Edgar Lungu. You know what he said? Because some of you think that I'm the problem. You see, you think that I'm the one who weaponizes these things. It is not me. My goal is to try and decenter these assumptions that we have, right? Now, think for a moment. Hakainde Hichilema is still working with Edgar Lungu's people everywhere, except for the army and security forces. Otherwise, the entire government structure is Edgar Lungu's people. Permanent secretaries, cabinet office, even state house, like the small staff at state house. They are all Edgar Lungu's people. By Sunday, Hakainde Hichilema only appointed one minister of finance. Just one minister of finance. Not even the state house advisors have been appointed. The first thing that Edgar Lungu says on Sunday, now, you people, teine, pantumulambe peshat munshani wewa mulomo, teine. Edgar Lungu, opposition leader Edgar Lungu, ewa ebere chalo kwebati, already. Mleumfa, bushe mulakutika. Edgar Lungu told the nation of Kwebati, this is the seriousness of this. That's why we need to think about the center. And Edgar Lungu is speaking as a center. It's not objective. He says that regions are already complaining. That there is one region that is already marginalized. He was saying this on Sunday. Do you know why? Do you understand why? Why would opposition leader Edgar Lungu, before Hakainde Hichilema appoints his team, Edgar Lungu is already accusing Hakainde Hichilema of neglecting some regions. Why don't we think about these assumptions and rebut them? When I begin rebutting them, you come after me, some of you. You know why he said what he said? I call it's the center mentality. He is the center. It doesn't matter that he did worse as president. Northeast, one Zambia, one nation. Permanent secretaries, one Zambia, one nation. Fired Kaundes, fired Lozis, fired Tongas, one Zambia, one nation. Before this new guy takes over, even appoints he's being accused. So, some of you, my fellow citizens, you expect that Hakainde Hichilema should have appointed all the powerful Southerners to powerful cabinet positions. Do you see why he couldn't do that? I'm not making these things up. Let's assume Jack Mwimbu defense, Araimbe justice, and Gary Nkombo home affairs, and all these top security posts, they went to Southerners. Do you know what Edgar Lungu would have said? Bamoneni. Because Edgar Lungu, opposition leader Edgar Lungu, said this before the cabinet was appointed. What would have happened? Under very difficult circumstances, Hakainde Hichilema has wisdom how to deal with this very difficult issue. And so the more we continue, which they insist to cover, no, we just want to do this, we just want to do this, without questioning and decentering our politics and our country, you are pushing this new administration towards very early collapse. So for those that need to speak out, begin speaking out against that centrism now, so that tomorrow the next leader that is going to come in Zambia can freely appoint whatever he wants to appoint, just like Abena Chipata na Babemba Basonta or Balefwaya without being questioned. So nomba abatea. Mwaume. I think mwali bako ka wisdom san. Muli Hakainde Hichilema. I think FHT Gyapa. No, but the only issue is in using that wisdom, we need to manage how the South takes it, right? But Abatea, because he preempts their ammunition. Did you see their ammunition? Did you see? Just hear from Edgar Lungu's rants, and it tells you that they are ready and prepared to attack Hakainde Hichilema based on tribalism and regionalism. Nomba abatea. Huh? You see that? Defense, he brings Lufuma. Who is Lufuma? No, he's from Kabombo. Is it Kabombo? Somewhere there. If you have Paraguay. So those that want to play Iriati, and this is just one region, they are confused. They can't say much. He deliberately goes and chooses Elwapulan, deliberately goes and chooses Muchingans. He does not use the excuse that Edgar Lungu had been using all along. I can't have a minister. Or what Michael Sata said. Michael Sata and Edgar Lungu said the same thing. I can't give you a minister. Hakainde Hichilema flips it and goes to Luapula and fishes a Luapula, fishes a Northerner, fishes a Muchingan, and brings them into cabinet. You know what that does? He can do that. But our role as citizens is to begin asking ourselves, how best can we remove all these and begin changing the centering? Right? That is our role. But he has handled them very well. Nomba, abantu tabatasha. You see, bakelenka tabatasha, no matter how much you do for them, mukamona, they still have more issues brewing up, and they're going to still continue bringing them up. How are you going to handle it? I think he needs to concentrate on governing. If we will be handling all these kelenkas, I think that's our duty. We'll be handling them. Today is a monologue. So let me look at some of the comments. Oh, drop the ball. We are not going to drop this ball. We are on it. Everything you're talking about would not have been a problem if the nation followed proper democratic system. And you don't, let's keep our patience. Of course, but patience over a team? No. Manora Madden? No. Malanda got patience, not patience over a team. At State House? No. Atate Lulu, where is Linda? I don't know. Linda, where are you? I can't see Linda in the back in the view. So I'll bring her back as soon as she's there. I'm not a lawyer. It's not based on a ministry, but as a minister, and swearing is about allegiance. Hey, one day, I like that argument. But he has wrong advisors. Which wrong advisors? We barely have a team of advisors, so we needed an advisors. Where's General Chipakopako? He's in Zambia. He's busy. So, balanced analysis. Right. The problem is most of the legal team are now ministers. Yeah. And of course, and when you become a minister, because you see, if you are a lawyer and then you are a minister, nobody would listen to, even if you've got very sound legal advice. So that's the tough situation, right? So you need slightly independent people that can help advise, right? We hope that works. Yeah. The presidency, no, Jocelyn, I agree, not with the team. The thing is, he's getting advice. The question is, where is he getting advice? And what's the consideration for the advisors? Right? If this team of 4 people was only done within a week or so ago, who is advising him international things? Now, this is separate from cabinet. Cabinet is separate. This is just a team of his own team around, advisors. So is he depending? So the danger is if he continues to depend overly on volunteers, like the political party. No, you can't. Because the political party is what? It's a club, it's a society under our law. Now you must transform whoever those advisors are and transform them into government workers so that there is accountability to the state. That's what I mean. So the idea that is new, yes, it's true, he's new, but it does not have to deal with advisors. No. No. As a matter of fact, the moment you are being sworn in, advisors. Because the same people who you depended on before they came into the state, those if it's the same guys, then just let them swear an oath of allegiance to you as head of state and faithfulness to the constitution, because there are 2 oaths that you have to make. So that government, they are on government payroll and their time is being compensated for the advice that they are giving you. The problem is if our head of state depends on informal non-government advisors, what is their pay? What is their consideration? If there's nothing for free, our head of state does not depend on free services. No. Immediately you subject our head of state to be receiving free informal advice, that's a problem. Already I'm not saying that you are corrupt, but you are opening a door towards it. But they should be, this means then that they don't read, or how else, whatever it is. Introduction of new ministries minus passing through parliament. It's okay. Why can't he do it? It's okay. Could this be the first time that we don't have Mansa people in government? Yeah. Alabwafia. Because Mansa people have been always, we've always been in every government. And if there are no women, what do you expect? I my mistakes yeka. Banamayo, please, we need women. Okay. Don't know that advisors. Yeah, advisors need to be sworn in, right? Yeah, they must be sworn in because they must pledge their allegiance to the republic and to the president. One. Secondly, they must be paid. They must be given a salary, money. Right? Because there is nothing for free. The Republic of Zambia does not work on free things. At if you are free, ni corruption. At yom kwa ine mbombera if you're free, that's corruption. Nomba, ngowombera if you're free, ni shuria shan. Na gas ubika mu motoka poko watu wa mgu landa na bakateka no kubachisa advise if you're free. Iriwa kalanda okafirwa okukana. Elwi mbologo apike ejishara. Ajiriwa kalanda okafirwa ukebukisha efifu wa mulira. That is what it means. Mwana kwa chalo la mwe na musonda. Chitika. There is nothing for free. Our republic cannot survive on free informal legal advisors to our president. No. It's true, women, and yet there is quite a number of women MPs. Yeah, Mwandin, put the pressure to appoint more women. If you are nalume, since 1964, Fiona Olaf, Tuaunaola, Pafula, 1964, Tuaunaola, 1973, Tuaunaola, 1980, Tuaunaola, 91, Tuaunaola, 2001, Tuaunaola. 2016 bring women. There is she's a woman, she can do it. At what are the qualifications? What are women given Lubin this qualification? Why does the center assume that women are much more credible and educated than a woman? Given Lubin certificate inenshise kama qualifications nomba ndefu ave mutontonka nyepo certificate in agriculture justice minister ngachinshi sefuloka oma kakoma can't be minister of the movement. Anyway, we have Doreen Mwamba, Honorable Doreen Mwamba, excellent. We have several other women, but we just need more. That's all. Yeah. Why are people sending angry emojis to Vakuetus? Request for stars. Send stars, people. Please send us stars. We want to see stars. There is nothing for free. What I just speak for free. There is nothing for free. So send stars. Hilda, are you talking to me at I need anger management now? Mulisa answer me. Yeah. Nora, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Bob Beauty. Mujibi Epi. Don Oscar.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you so much. And how are you doing?
Cabinet na ifumala ili balanced mwevo.
I want to send some kwena man. He has tried already. About the
Noma
number of
balunga
the
bafume chipeshamano.
About the number of the women, I think it's not easy, because even the Zambians themselves, they did not vote a lot of women. So I think it's not very easy for him.
Don Oscar, we already have women in this. So in my assumption was once Banamayo were supposed to be appointed. Oh, abengi. They've already been elected. Banapiri Kukabwe, Awa Kumwandi, bonse bali Banamayo. Number at you they are not competent enough. If you are nalume, if you are na ule chalo mwe, if you are nalume.
In proportion, I think maybe there is quite a good number of the men as compared to our mothers or our ladies. Probably that might be the reason why. But we will give him time. We will give him time.
We've been giving men time since 1964. Why? How in time vanamayo vachuliremo tulefoya vanamayo fuego tulefoya vanamayo vateke kunako tumo nefyo vala tuteka na totera mkwaito Oscar.
Can I just say one of the things about the mistake that I think it's not a big issue, the appointment of the new ministers for the new ministries. Many people have gone against church, but I think myself, I think it's not fair for the Zambians to haste a lot for this gentleman. I know also those people who are very close to HH, the UPND, even in the province, his province, the southern province, who have been with this man for so many years. Southern province, Western province, they have been with this gentleman for so many years. So I think we need to appreciate this, to recognize this. Now, this mistake, I think, which has occurred, it makes me also, Munsha, I think I talked about that question even before. I know it's not on your inaugural speech. The question of certain advisors to HWH who can be very dangerous. And one of these people, I foresee a very, very delicate influence of this guy, the so-called CR1, on many people in Zambia. Seriously, Bamunsha, seriously, that page needs to be touched in future, not today. In future, if you have a possibility, let's open that page and let's help our young people to understand why is it so delicate, and why I think it's. I am not going to judge anyone. I don't judge any person. Every person can believe in whatever he believes in.
No, I think CR1's influence lies with the fact that he sided with the people, with most Zambians, and he's been proved right. Of course, there's some very controversial things he says, but he's been proved right on quite a lot of things. Of course, so the difficulty is, how do you navigate through all this? But it's not our subject today. Maybe we can invite him to this show one of these days. I don't know. I know Don Oscar, you have issues with him. I also have a lot of questions about the gentleman, but I do have a lot of questions, but I think he stood for the people of Zambia. I think if he had a vendetta against Edgar Lungu, he researched about our situation in Zambia, and I think he's been advocating for the Zambians. Do I have questions about his theology? Yes, I do. And I need to be genuine here. Oh, yes, I do. I do have genuine concerns. Is he going to be one of the advisors of the new Don? No, he's not. I don't.
We hope so. We hope that one. I pretty hope. I hope I think could be not in the line of advising our president. I hope so. Then the last thing, Mr.
No, but of course it's the propaganda from the PF. You know, that's PF propaganda that he is part of the advisors of the New Dawn. No, he's not.
All right.
But the gentleman says very interesting things. He's certainly a good entertainer, you know.
Yeah, some of the things, some of the things he says are quite good, but also there is some delicacy in the way he portrays some philosophy there. And
no, that's understandable. And you, as a Catholic theologian, and as for me, as a Pentecostal theologian, we have our own reservations for sure and questions. But I don't think he's going to take up any formal or informal role of advising the New Dawn. I don't see it.
All right. Well, the last thing I wanted to contribute this evening, so that I can leave space for others, is I'm happy that they have removed the Ministry of what is this? It's called National Guidance. What is that? Religious. Ministry of Religious and National Guidance. I'm happy they have removed that, because it's quite Christianity, faith is something else. To add that as a ministry, I think it wasn't enough. Now, I would love to, this morning I was listening to some of the programs. They were asking, but what would happen to the National Day for Prayer and fasting, I think, something like that.
Zambia is a nation of hypocrites. We like hypocritical prayers, and so the National Day of Prayers is likely to continue. President Hakainde Hichilema is not going to disband it.
All right. Okay. I would love maybe that national prayer to continue, but in a different way, because it shouldn't just be a something to portray as a prayer in one space. If they can do it like also here in Italy, there are certain days they are prepared for fasting and prayer, but they leave everyone in each section, any place. People can pray.
I don't foresee any changes. The New Dawn is not going to change, is not going to make any radical changes to the National Day of Prayer. It's too politically toxic. It's politically toxic to touch it. You can touch the Ministry of Religious. So you can touch the Ministry of Religious, because the Ministry of Religious was obviously politically tainted, right? The minister herself was politically tainted. She used to say bizarre things like, Yesu alimubwato. Like, oh, Reverend, she belongs to my faith. She would go to campaigning and saying that Yesu alimubwato, meaning in the PF thing. How can a whole reverend say such things? It used to pay me a lot. So yes, the Ministry of Religious Affairs was tainted. They were not very objective. And then they started interfering in religious doctrine of denominations. That was nonsense.
Which was very, very unfair. And
they couldn't come to Catholics, because you Catholics are very well structured. But they started interfering with Pente churches. Pente umo achita commit adultery. The minister vaisa mukuyivika mwate. Ati ni Minister of Religious Affairs. No. Ati mwa Pente mwe ni Minister of Religious Affairs, so nala kontolola, you shouldn't stand on the pulpit. No. Church discipline is subject to ecclesiastical bodies, not to a governmental body. And so may the soul of the National Religious Ministry rest in peace. And may we never hear of it again.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Muisha.
That one will continue.
Thank you so much, and God bless you. Good evening.
Thank you, Don Oscar. Don't go. Remain in the background. Advocate Melissa.
Good evening.
You are deliberately hiding your face.
Okay, let me put it on. I'm in my bedroom. Okay, can you see me?
We can see you. Advocate, we have several issues here.
Okay.
Who should have advised the president regarding the legality of some of the things? Was it a State House counsel? Was it Attorney General's chambers? Who should have done it?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. As you earlier rightly put it, right now.
When I put you on the spot, advocate, because I know that there are several stakeholders in your life. If you don't feel like answering something, just don't. Okay.
No, let me answer that. I think the problem we have is that there is no attorney general at this present moment.
No.
Like
Nikando is still attorney general.
No, he's not. Article 178 says that the tenure of an attorney general finishes when the president who appointed him leaves office. So the attorney general is not in office right now.
And what article is that?
178. Do you have the constitution with you there?
I have it.
Okay, check that one. And it's 178 or 187. Let me check on mine as well. I was reading it this afternoon. But anyway, what I'm saying is we don't have an attorney general in office as we speak. So, as you rightly put it, have you found it?
You are right. Advocate Melissa, you are right.
Yeah, it's 178, right?
Yeah, 178.
Yeah, that's the one. So we don't have an attorney general. So the president has to appoint an attorney general. That puts us in a fix. So some of these problems.
How did we make such a constitution?
I wish I could answer that question. So, like you said, there is nothing stopping the president from appointing a new attorney general. There's nothing stopping him from appointing his special assistant for legal affairs, who we usually refer to as the legal counsel for State House. I think those two are very important in this transition phase because a lot of
let me grieve, Advocate Melissa. Let me grieve. I thought that my friend Nikando is still Attorney General of Zambia. I didn't know that. You see, I've read this constitution. I'm a constitutional lawyer. Zambia's you are an immigration lawyer. I'm a constitutional lawyer. But I'm an immigration lawyer. Eh?
Okay.
I didn't know that my friend is no longer Attorney General of Zambia. Too bad. He did his best. Mwaiche. We differed on some things, but are you sure? I've read it.
You've read it, right? That's what the Constitution says.
Okay, please go ahead, Advocate Melissa.
Yeah, so constitutionally, there's no Attorney General in office. And then there is nothing stopping the president from appointing an Attorney General. There is no fetter on his appointment of the Attorney General. He can appoint him even right now. So some of these gaffes that we have are because, like you said, I like the way you came out and said the president cannot rely on volunteered advice or on pro bono advice when he has the entire state machinery to put in place a team of advisors. Yeah. So this issue of the ministers, I would like to clarify one thing, maybe for the benefit of the public or for the benefit of those who are watching. Appointment of a minister is not subject to parliamentary, or should I say National Assembly approval.
Right.
What is subject to the approval of the National Assembly under Article 92 of the Constitution is the creation or the merging of ministries. That is what is supposed to be approved by the National Assembly, not the appointment of ministers. So now the logical sequence would be the president could have appointed and sworn in ministers for those ministries that are not new and those ministries that are not being merged. And then those ministries that he wants to merge and those new ministries he wants to create, what you could have done was you could have sent the list of those new ministries to the National Assembly. And the law says under Article 94 that Parliament, or should I say the National Assembly, has to attend to that request at the next sitting immediately after that request, which means that sitting, which is starting on the 10th, Parliament has to get to the business of approving that request from the President. And then they have to give an answer within 21 days. If they don't, or if they refuse to approve, then the President can go to the Constitutional Court, whose decision will be final. The decision of the Constitutional Court will be final. Now, in this instance, the President has gone on to appoint ministers for ministries that for lack of a better term, that do not exist legally. So the ministries are created by the President, but for them to come to life, in short, for them to come to life, they have to be approved by Parliament. So the President creates and Parliament breathes life into them. So what the President did, he created the ministry, but before he breathed life into them, he started appointing ministers. Now, that is a legal problem there, which means whatever step that has happened is void. Now, this could have been avoided if the President had the benefit of some independent legal advice. Like you rightly put it, of course, there are big lawyers in UPND, well-respected lawyers. Maybe it was an oversight on their side, or because it's not their job to advise the President from the legal point of view. So the solution to this problem is that the President should set up his team, and I pray that his team will be made up of people who are willing to stand up to him and give him independent advice, and people who are not afraid to lose their jobs for standing for what is right. He's already appointed a young person in Anthony Gwalia. I applaud that appointment. I hope for the rest of his team in State House, he will put his faith in young people.
No, here's the issue, advocate.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, the team that he has assembled so far is not the advisory team, even if we are calling them advisors. The principal private secretaries are not advisors in the strict sense of the word, but neither is the press and public relations person, right? Because the press and public relations is the liaison between the office of the President and the press and the public, right? Announcing things.
It's like a mouthpiece.
But what we are lacking there is actual advisors who can put a report on him, for example, international relations, legal advice, and this is
the political advisor and political
advisors. Yes, you know, people to say. So far, he's done everything correctly. I think he's done very good political decisions. But the thing with having a team is that the nation can have somebody else to blame. Here, we don't have anyone else to blame. We can't even say a team, HH's team, are to blame. There is no team at State House. For goodness sake, there are no advisors at the moment. We know he's receiving advice, and so our concern is that advice. Who is giving it? What is their consideration? What are they being paid? And
who are they accountable to?
And who are they accountable to? Because our state does not operate with phantom people.
I agree 100%, and I hope it's something that the powers that be are going to look at, especially that they promised us that they are going to operate by the rule of law. But I want to point out one thing. In as much as all this has happened, I like the fact that HH came out and owned it and said, okay, fine. Yes, we appointed the ministers, but in a way, he was agreeing to what the outcry was about, that the step that was taken was not correct. I think when he came out to speak, when he was swearing out the others, he said, okay, we were swearing, but that was wrong. But in a way, he faced it. And he was not afraid to face the people. I think that is a positive that I can take out of this. If it was other people who I won't mention by name, they wouldn't have said anything. They would have remained quiet, and the whole country would have remained on blue ticks. But it is what it is. The step that was taken was not legally sound, and I hope the people tasked to do this will sort this out.
Yeah, thank you, Advocate. Please stay on. We'll come back to you. Always great advice. Nicholas Mutalama is asking, but what's wrong with pro bono advice if it's legitimate? How do you answer that?
Okay. Okay. First thing, here in Zambia, pro bono advice is illegal unless it's for a criminal matter. So I don't know who would be advising the president on criminal matters. I mean, that's as civil as it gets. And like you said, the government of the Republic of Zambia cannot operate on a pro bono basis when we have those offices available. The office of the Attorney General is a constitutional office, and that office has to be filled. And the office of the President's Assistant for Legal Affairs at State House, there is an office there. So why should we be getting pro bono advice when there are institutions that are made for that?
Right. And so just for structural basis, I want to clarify something. The Attorney General is a constitutional office. So the Attorney General is the government's lawyer. So in the general sense, the legal advisor to the president is a more transactional lawyer at State House, dealing with some quick questions that needs to be done, but not big general issues that have got to come from a formal office, which is the Attorney General's chambers. The other thing is, I think the article in our Constitution does not clothe junior civil servants to take up the role of Attorney General, unfortunately. It's Attorney General, Solicitor General, Attorney General, Solicitor General. So you can't say that because every advice must be signed off by at least the Attorney General or the Solicitor General or the principal officers. So even if you actually have very good lawyers in the Attorney General's chambers, it's not enough.
What I was saying, just to add to what you're saying, the President's Assistant for Legal Affairs is actually more like the President's personal lawyer. He's in State House, or he or she will be in State House. They operate from State House. Unlike the Attorney General, who is a ex-officio member of cabinet.
Right.
So the Attorney General sits in cabinet meetings because the Attorney General is the official legal advisor to the government. But the State House legal aid is more like a personal to hold a lawyer for the president. Is not a government lawyer, but a presidential lawyer that gives legal advice just there at State House. Okay. So why I was clamoring, so why I was clamoring for young people, I was actually clamoring for them to be considered for that role in State House, not for the Attorney General. For the Attorney General, it's written in the Constitution. No one can argue with that.
Melissa, you're too clever. Advocate Melissa, you're too clever. I see what you are doing there.
I had to take my shot.
Wait, abakote kuti baba Attorney General and Solicitor General number otwa iche twingire through to State House,
Of course. Why not?
Yeah. And in fact, because if 2 weeks already without a team has placed tremendous strain on the president, obviously, and today the embarrassment happened. For me, it was not going to be a big deal because anyway. Thank you, Advocate.
It's quite embarrassing because he can hire a lawyer anytime, or lawyers. All right. Thanks. I'll stay
on. Yeah. Demena, are you there?
Abafyashi. Chunguro mkwati. Twakosa vipi mwani?
Twakosa.
Twasante.
What is your view on the topics we've discussed?
My take is on, I'm not a lawyer, so, but I've been reading what has been happening, starting from yesterday and today, the appointment of the cabinet and all that. But I was just, I wasn't okay when after I heard that, no, the president made a mistake. I felt very bad. But we are just people. Sometimes we are prone to mistakes. A quick take can be just that, let him just appoint the Attorney General and the other legal advisors so that he can be advised, so that this can't repeat itself in the future. I know Mr. President is a very intelligent man, and he's good for Zambia. That matter, you know.
He's done. I think he's done very well so far in the 2 weeks. We just need to encourage him so that we don't drop the ball. We were part of this revolution, and we are going to stay on top of it. We are not going to neglect it. Chirefinto nomba fiabomba ero nomba twasa iwera mwati tuwareka kui.
How is your?
Chismo natotera bandemena.
Chismo kwa yofyash natotela sana.
Himba.
Munsha. Good evening, Mr. Munsha. Hi.
Very well. Mujibi epi.
Imwe ba Munsha. Mujibi epi mwani.
Tuakosa.
I can't go any further.
Alen lete nidiesh.
Munsha, may I say good evening to all the comrades? Good evening to all the comrades, and thank you for supporting the president and for supporting the entire cabinet. At this moment, Munsha, I don't think we can even, personally, I can do the checks and balances or maybe to say anything about the cabinet, because our president has a lot to put in place. Our president has a lot to do. And as much as we may not agree with some certain appointments, but I think I think they consult each other. And
I'm sorry, which team?
I mean, whoever is, I'm sure and I think there's some more information they have on the ground, which we don't have.
No, my sister. That is not how the office of the president needs to be functioning.
Yeah.
Our president cannot be consulting people we don't know, unknown to the republic.
Okay, on that one, Wamwisha, I agree with you. I totally agree that we should know, and they should also be accountable to us. We see that the person, but at the moment,
we don't even need to know them personally, but they need to be officers of the republic.
I totally agree. Totally agree, and I also agree. And I've also liked the point where you said, we are encouraging corruption, which is true. But although but I think, personally, I was very excited. I had the anxiety to know who is the ministers who are coming in. But after I've seen some appointments and everything, I've said, okay, fine. They can bakateka tumunefe bale chitapa. Tualiba votera and tualiba chetekera. So tubaloleleko tumunepo baleya. Hello? Hello? Am I there?
Oh, hello. Sorry. I think there was a little issue there. Yeah.
So Nachanda, time appointments, as much as we may not agree, Fimo, I think for now, tubapeleko chance tumonefyo balachita. I think we trust him, we believe in him, and
No. Yeah, I like the appointments. The only issue I have is that there are no many women. Ndefo abana mayo.
I know you're you know, namwinchitako nvi mwanomba lero mwamuleka watu mwangwinako panono lero, but what we are going to say, I think naifwe bana mayo tufile twaichechenta. Are we positioning ourselves in the positions that we should be appointed? Huh?
No.
So mlefa watu balatushitashana na point pali wali abali 8.
No, they're already women. They're already UPND women that won. And they are not part of cabinet.
Me, I strongly feel, even as a woman, to serve the country, you don't just have to be in cabinet. We still have some key positions where women can serve, and the cabinet is not permanent. There's cabinet reshuffle.
So what's up? No, that's understandable. If you are saying that there will be a thing at a later stage, I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to accept this idea of whether women have other capacities to serve. We are talking about cabinet here. And it's important that if we have an opportunity to balance gender balance of cabinet, that we balance it. That women must be positioning themselves how? Okay. Nichokulumbula bamwe abawome abali muri cabinet mwalambwena mu bantu banandi bonse bali abawome, they are much more qualified than women. Princess Zulu,
if you remember,
1 degree, 2 master's degrees, tremendous experience, international experience. Why isn't she Minister of Foreign Affairs?
I totally agree, Bamunsha, but you remember the previous, on the other day when I was saying we shouldn't only look at the qualifications, because I knew that it was going to disadvantage a lot of women.
That's exactly all the excuses that men have been given at the center. Okay, but no, it's either a woman is not qualified enough. If the woman is qualified, there's always something.
No, but the qualification I'm talking about, mule ushana leshta argue pama PhD, pama being like PhDs. Personally, I feel a person who are got a certificate, diploma can still be a minister as long as they've got the experience.
What I am saying is that these excuses of continuing with imbalanced cabinets with women, we are tired of it.
Okay, Bamunsha, I'm with you to advocate for women, but even women should position themselves and work hard towards that goal.
Okay, what other positioning? There are about 5 women that have been not appointed to cabinet. Is it 5 or 10 in Shirependa win? What positioning do they need? What positioning does Princess Kasune Zulu need to position herself?
1.
AIDS activist. Let me give you her CV. AIDS activist, international exposure, 2 degrees, a very, very spiritual woman. And so what else does she need? And I'm not saying that the president has chosen a wrong cabinet. That's not the issue. The issue is, all I'm saying is, Banamayo, Pandwifia nalume, from evidence, empirical evidence, Fiona ule chalokui, if you're nalume. No,
okay, there's Banamayo, tulikonke tushitena advocates on it. Advocate sana. But I'm also happy that at least the Ministry of Confusion nabaifumiako. That was a Ministry of Confusion. That ministry, even when we needed that ministry to add a voice, even to talk about peace, it's a ministry katuishi, but thank God it has been removed because it's a ministry of confusion. Hello, you know, Fwebena Zambia, aba abunangani bafisa minakubuli Christianity, aba whoever is lazy, no, I've been oh, God is going to bless you. We look at that. So that ministry, thank God, twatotera valesa yafumako. I'll come back now. Bye-bye.
Vumba Mioba.
Yes,
Vumba
vamusha.
mwakosa. Mujibi epi.
Kawotu kamwamba.
Kabotu. Areni lete niliashi.
I think for me, I'm just about with you advocating for women. But it looks like a pupeta fika, but it's all we are advocating. As we are advocating, we should also include the fact that the president has to appoint permanent secretaries and heads of Zambian missions abroad. So, since the cabinet appointments were competitive, he now has opportunities. He now has an opportunity because they're not going to say for you to be in cabinet you first have to be a member of parliament. Let's see the youths in as permanent secretaries. Let's see the women as permanent secretaries. Let's see the women as heads of missions abroad. Another one that I wanted to say is about the ministries that have been created. I think there's one ministry that is very interesting, the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment. I'm an environmentalist by profession, trained by the University of Zambia. So I've seen a lot of people asking what is a green economy, what is this? So I just wanted to shed some light on that.
Now,
The
can we do the green thing? Because it's a huge topic. And Mioba, I would want you to, Mioba, Boomba, I want you to come back so that we can deal with this and give it the attention that it deserves. Does that work?
Yeah, that works.
Now, there is a comment here, Boomba. It is wrong always insulting the side of God on the program. It is the person who failed. Shalom Melchizedek, just from your name, you are a fake account. So we can't even be answering you because we don't know who you are. Okay? General is not here today because General has always got very choice language and names for accounts such as you. If you continue coming up with all these random useless things, I'm going to block you. Allah. Who told you that the Ministry of Religious Affairs is on the side of God? Who told you that? Anyway, stop trolling us, okay? Me and Boomba are here talking about sensible things. You begin commenting if you are Boomba. Anyway, Boomba, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vamusha.
We'll see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Oh, look at this. He's even saying my name is Jackson Impala. So Jackson Impala, thank you for telling me your name. The Ministry of Religious Affairs has got nothing to do with God. Okay? So it's not like it's a ministry that was representing God in the cabinet. That is not right. Okay? Because there is no ministry that a government can create for God. God is inside every ministry. Even the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So when we say that the Ministry of Religious Affairs was a useless ministry, it's because it was a useless ministry. It was used to oppress our people. The minister herself said that yes, campaigning, reducing the name of our Lord into very useless things like Ubwato. Yes, that is the particular theology we need to correct, particularly among Pentes, because sometimes Pentes, we have a very inadequate theology of the state. Now, by SDA, by SDA's theology is anti. Boomba, are you familiar with the political theology of Bachimpembe?
Yes.
Let me tell you, the political theology of Bachimpembe is that the state is always in conflict with the church. That is SDA theology of politics. In fact, the cosmic war that is going to happen will be between God's church and the state, civil authorities, 666, the beast, the 10 kingdoms, and everything else. That's why there is a reluctance on SDA to confront the state. They don't talk down to the state. They don't encourage participation in politics. SD Bachimpempe abayingirama politics, they are an exception. It is not the rule. That's a little bit of Chimpempe theology of politics. Do you agree with it?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Anyway.
So we are going to continue with you advocating for women to be in cabinet, because we know that women understand things differently than men, and they take certain issues very sensitively, and they are more likely to behave or respond to certain situations in a different manner. So yeah, we continue on that route, Mamonsha.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is 1 hour, 30 minutes. Our format today was slightly different. I hope you took a slight break. We have several people that were waiting in the wings. If you did not participate, they can always be tomorrow. Thank you very much for having joined us today. Elias Munsha here on behalf of TV Bakwetu. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you, and God bless our country. For those that can remain in the background, please do so as we move our discussion to the background. Thank you very much.